And so this today we're gonna dive into how you can differentiate whose voice are you listening to. Okay, because there's so much noise out in the world. There's so much noise. And depending on what voice are you listening to, that will be your experience. What can you add to this, Reverend Corina?
I- It's interesting that sometimes I'll hear a voice in my head, and who said that? But it sounds like my voice. So, really, whose voice is that? Is that my ego voice? Or was
Mm,
that God? So, when I hear someone say my name and there's nobody else around me, I say, that's God's voice getting my attention. It's only in my head, but there is a difference. I can tell what's my voice and what's God's voice. And so I like to listen to myself, of course, but more importantly, I like to listen to that God voice, to that bigger voice where it takes me farther outside of what I already know. So it's important to listen to that inner God voice.
mhm, mhm, mhm. My experience, I love what you said because there has been time that I found myself doing the same thing. Like I hear something, I'm just like, okay. But and what I've discovered is that if the voice becomes is subtle, the voice is
Mm.
subtle. And the reason why we get to hear it more often and louder is because we have been doing our spiritual practices. The spiritual practices that we teach and that we practice are universal spiritual practice. You know, it's not something new, but we have a formula. And the formula that we use, and depending on the tools that we use, that helps us to evolve and to be more open to listen to God's voice and to listen to God's guidance. Because for me, you know, I lead my life by God's guidance. A
Mhm.
lot of things that I do, I allow God to guide me to do. And I put the intention, and God leads the way. And I think that just like today, yes, I planned for today. Yes, I took time to read, I took time to do my research. But at the end of the day, what I have discovered is that at the end of the day, God is in control. And if I allow it to be in control, it is more beautiful than what I could have myself done. What do you think? How does that work for you?
Mhm. So it's that gentle tapping and the repeated until we hear it that reminds us that we need to get out of our own way and allow God to come in and listen to that, where there's the greater wisdom
Mm-hmm.
beyond what we know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I came here to Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was God's voice.
yeah,
And it was something that I would never have thought of on my own. So I knew it was a divine inspiration
yes,
for me
yes,
to come here and start the center and be available to put this teaching out.
yes, yes.
So I'm glad I listened to that voice.
Yes, yes, yes. That's something that we have in common, you know, and I love it because when you first told me that, I was just like, I am not crazy. You know, because what happened is this quote from Living the Science of Mind says, "From communion with the Spirit, man will come to perceive the deeper reality, the broader sharing in human experience." and that is found in Science, Superstition, and Common Sense in Living the Science of Mind, page 16.5. It is so true because, I felt similar as you. I came to visit in 2015 and I heard, "This is your house." I
Mhm.
heard it just like that. And I was just like, I must be going crazy. Something must be going on. But no. And I've been here for 2 years, and there's not a day that I feel like I need to go back anywhere. I feel this is my home. This is what God wants me to be. I have no idea what He has for me. I really have not figured that out, but I'm allowing myself to be led, to be guided. And that's what we want to express to you, that when you allow yourself to open your heart, and that when you are rooted in the spirit, right? Spirit will lead you. And I'm not going to say to you that you're not going to have the emotional feelings of fear, of doubt, of should I do this? Should I not do this? You will have them because you are having a human experience, remember? But the beautiful thing about it is that God puts other people in the path so you can connect, so you can get supported. Because I remember when I told Reverend Karina, she said, "I'm here to support you. Just give me a call when you're ready to come." And she was the number one person that I call when I was ready to make that move. When God said, "Okay, now is the time to go." I was I was doubtful. But you know what? She reminded me of my truth. And that's what we're speaking about when we say to you, call a professional practitioner. Call us, because you know what? We will know the truth for you. Because when you're going through situations, we forget. I forget.
Mhm.
Okay. And so we lean on each other. And Reverend Karina was my pulse, was my strength at that time. When I call and I say, this is what's going on. I heard that this is the time, but I don't know what you think. And she was just like, "Just come. Everything is fine. You'll be fine. You'll see. Don't worry about it. I'm here." And it was so good. It was so good to have another human to remind me of the truth, right? But that only happened because I was rooted. We were rooted in the spirit. We are listening to the voice, okay? And so we have another quote. It says, "The power, the the power to live is within self, implanted by divine ultimately. Every man will realize this his inner kingdom, which will become to him as the tree of life, providing food, shelter, perfection, and joy." And this is found in Declaration of Principle, Living the Science of Mind, page 92.6. So all what we're trying to say to you is that when you are rooted in the power of God, everything, everything seems to be to evolve. God has all the support that we need, because God knew that I was going to need another human person that was having a similar experience as I did, to support me when it was time for me to make that move. Right? Imagine, I could not have made it, I could not have done it so perfectly. Remember, Reverend Karina?
Mhm.
I could not have done it so perfectly. She was there to inspire me and to lead me, and to give me the reassurance that I needed. And so I want to remind you that you are here, that we are here, each one of us, Reverend Corina. If you feel like connecting with her, you are more than welcome to connecting her. She has classes online. I actually believe that where I'm not the only one for everyone. And depending on who we are, we might feel connected to one person or the other. We might feel that this person we can pray with them, or that we can ask them for guidance. And that's okay. That's the reason why God made each one of us in our own unique way, because each one of us have the opportunity to connect with different people. And that's perfect, because at the end of the day, divine God, its desire is for each one of us to discover, to not discover, but to uncover the greatness that is within us. Isn't that so, Reverend Karina?
Yes, and it was a divine connection that put the two of us together when we
Yes.
were at the convention, because there were so many people there. And
Yes.
you could have asked any one of them, hey, should I move to Mexico?
Yes.
But it was that deeper connection that we felt.
Yes.
And it was our connection that helped you to connect with my story,
Yes.
that you had the same story.
Yes.
That is no coincidence.
No. No, there's no coincidence.
Mhm.
There's no coincidence. And the thing is that, when we first met in 2018, I didn't know, like you said, out of so many people,
Mhm.
I think we had lunch and we started talking, and it was just like, wow, I was just so excited and so grateful to have met you, and to have and for you to have taken that first step, because you didn't have anybody. You just went with it, with it. I was just after I spoke with you, I was just like, wow, she's something else. She's something else. She's amazing. She just packed her stuff and said, I am gone. I am done. Here I come. I am done with all this, and I am ready to just to make a difference, not just for me, but for everyone else in this world. So what have you what can we tell our listeners about, because there's a lot of noise in the world, right? There's a lot of things that are happening in the world. I don't subscribe to the news, but I know there's a lot of stuff happening. I actually receive a very consume news that it just gives me what's really important, and I just browse through them just to kind of know what's going on. But there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear in the world, and I think that really paralyzes a lot of people. That really that really damages a lot, because as it is, we already have fears of our own, right? And then on top with all the other news of what's going on in the world and what's coming and what's going to happen in the financial arena, the economics of the world, it just put people who are really watching the news all the time in with more concerns, right? And so what can we tell these people that are full of fear, anxiety, even depression, sadness, hopelessness? What can we tell them so they know that they're not alone?
So I think there's fear everywhere. And we see this a lot, especially in Mexico. Oh, there's violence in Mexico. I'm afraid to go. Aren't you afraid to live there? But you can take out the word Mexico and put in anywhere that people are afraid. And the more we show our fear and talk about our fear, and we spread that fear. And then, like you said, we get immobilized, and then we don't live our life. We're just stuck in that fear. And when we allow fear to take over, everything starts happening against us.
Hmm.
We get sick, we stop enjoying life, we start losing um, enjoyment,
Hmm.
that we need to overlook all of what other people are putting out as fear and know what's right for us.
Mhm.
Is this how I feel, or am I borrowing what somebody else feels?
Mhm.
So knowing that difference, then live your life. What brings you joy? And do that. Because what brings me joy might be fearful for others. Moving here was joyful for me. And others were, oh my gosh, you're going alone? Aren't you afraid? No. And I didn't borrow their fear.
That's right.
I stayed with my joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
uh, I
Yeah.
think it's important
Yeah.
to know the difference.
Yeah.
What's yours and what's others, and stick with your joy.
Yes. 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 I call that joy faith. You know,
Mhm.
we have a quote here. It says, faith is certain definite mental attitude. Faith is an affirmative way of using this law. This energy, this force, is what holds us together, right? And
Mhm.
we can find this quote on Declarations of Principle, Living the Science of Mind, page 99.5. And yes, for me, faith, I think for me, we call it joy, we call it peace, but it's faith, right? Because in order
Right.
for us to have the peace and the faith and the joy, we must have faith. That's the only way that we can have it. Otherwise, we lose it because we allow ourselves to be inundated in the fear of the world. And so, again, I say, it's nothing wrong with having those emotions, because I will not tell you not to have them, right? Because you have them. It's important for us to recognize our emotions, but we don't have to act on it. That's what I know. We don't have to act on them. We can recognize them. We can give them the attention that it needs. We could just sit still. It's a spiritual practice, is to be still with what is. That is a spiritual practice, just sitting with what is, not trying to change it, not trying to fix it, not trying to blame it, not trying to find a reason. Just be with it. Just feel it. Just feel it, be with it, write about it. And more importantly, have a practitioner or a minister speak with one of them. Because the reality is that when we're in that space, we need someone that can see beyond our understanding at the moment to see the truth for us. And I tell you, even as a practitioner, and I'm sure I know few reverends, and the ones that I really know, that I have a great relationship with them, they go through the emotions too, because they're humans too. Just because they have a title, it doesn't mean that they're not having emotion. It doesn't mean that they're not going through stuff. It just means that they know what to do, what tools to use when they're going through whatever they're going through, because they know that there's a higher purpose. They know that whatever they're feeling, it's just needing attention at the moment so it can dissolve, so it can just run through you, out of you, and never come back. Right? Right?
Yes.
At least that's what has come to my understanding.
And even as a minister, I still have a, another minister as my practitioner.
Right. 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 That's right. That's right. So we invite you to take seriously what we offer here. We offer here a place to love you no matter where you are. We're not here to judge you in any way. We're here to support you and uproot you where you need to be rooted in the faith of God, in the principles. We're here to teach you the tools that you can use so you can so you can come out of whatever situation or condition you're going through. Because whatever the condition and situation that you're going through at the moment is just a perception of your understanding. And I know in this human experience, it feels and it looks so real, right?
Mhm.
But when we know the spiritual laws, universal laws, we understand that nothing that we experience in the human experience is real. It feels real because we are sensing with our five senses, right? And ego is part of this realm, and it feeds on it. And so our job is to go to the mountaintop, meaning go to the higher place, raise your consciousness. And if you need to help, if you need help raising your consciousness, you don't have to do it alone. We're not here to do life alone. I don't know about you, but doing life alone is hard. What do you think, Reverend Karina?
Yes. A- And it's not just family or close friends, but even a practitioner or another minister that you can speak with that understands you and knows what you need can be that important connection.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And that's the reason why I say a practitioner or minister, because a lot of time we have family members and they're in a similar consciousness as we are. So they're not going to help you. They're not going to help you. So you need to really go to someone that has a higher consciousness and can see the truth for you. And the best are professional practitioners and ministers. That's what I can tell you, because they know the truth for you. They know the truth for you, and they will pray for you, and they will speak and declare the truth for you. Okay, so remembering also that the only way that we can change the world and change what seems to be real is to do the work ourselves, right? It starts with me. I cannot change the world. I cannot change my family. I cannot change my children, my grandchildren, my sisters, my brothers, my nephews. I cannot change anybody. I cannot change my friends. I cannot change anybody. My only responsibility here is to save myself first. And as I save myself, then I can be an agent of change. Then I can be able to see in the world where we're here, what we so many of us wants to experience in the world. We have a quote here that says, war will cease now when God decides this for us. But when enough people know that it is no longer desirable and steadfastly maintain their position from communion with spirit, man will come to perceive the deeper reality, the broader sharing in human experience. And this we can find in Science, Superstitions, and Common Sense, Living the Science of Mind, page 16:5. As you can see, we have to make the change. We have to do it first. I have to do it with myself. You have to do it with yourself. We have to start believing in war. We have to start believing that the way the world has been taking care of things is the right way, because God works through us, as in us. And as we begin to expand our consciousness to see a world that works for everyone, to see a world that is peaceful, to see a world that it provides all the needs for everyone. I was reading in this news that I was getting, that back in 1950, I think, don't quote me on that, huh? Because I didn't wrote it down. But it was years ago, okay, many years ago, like 20 or 30 years ago. The world, the people not having enough, it was 50%. Nowadays it's 10%. Okay, people are being more provided nowadays than way before. Meaning that you're not gonna hear those news, right? You're only gonna hear how bad the world is. That's all you're gonna hear. You're just gonna hear about the economics, the finances, the stock market, the wars, the all this other stuff that we are being inundated with. But are we really hearing how far have we come? And the only reason why we are coming this far is because more people are awakening to their truth. And the more we awaken to our truth, the more we can see a world that works for everyone, a world where everyone is fed and is has everything that they need and more. Not just what they need, but more than what they need. We have to see that. We have to envision that. We are the agents of change by changing ourselves, by changing our thinking, and be rooted in who we really are. Is there anything else that you want to add to that, Reverend Karina?
What came to mind was this or something better.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Beautiful, beautiful. So with that, we'll go to that's a good segue to go into our affirmations. This and something better. That sounds to me like an affirmation. And so that was beautiful. I could not have done that. We could have not practiced that one. Right? So
Right.
now we go into our affirmations, and during affirmations, we lead you to know that we're gonna read the affirmation. It's gonna be on the screen so you can read it. Then we're gonna breathe in, take that in, and then release it, and then we're gonna say it once again. Okay, so the first affirmation is: today my life harmonizes with my inner song. Let's take a deep breath. Take it all in. Once again, today, my life harmonizes with my inner song. Reverend Corina, take the next one.
Each day, I commit to practicing spiritual tools to support a joyful life experience.
Hmm. Take a deep breath and release. And let's read it once again.
Each day, I commit to practicing spiritual tools to support a joyful life experience.
Hmm. And our last one is: I am still and listen to the inner subtle voice for guidance. Take a deep breath and release. I am still and listen to the inner subtle voice for guidance. I invite you to take to take these affirmations for your practice this week and embody each one of them. So with that in mind, we go within in this prayerful affirmative space, and we do a treatment here in we use 5 steps, and we recognize that there's only one God. We unite ourselves with this power. We declare our truth within this power, and we give thanks for recognizing it. And then we release it. We release it to the Lord, knowing God has his ways. It's not mine to do. And so I invite you to just go within and feel your heartbeat. Take a deep breath and commune with spirit. Allow yourself to be present in this moment. Just sit, be still. Sit and be still. And so I know that there's only one power, one mind, omnipresence, that there's not one place or one being that God is not. God is in everything, everywhere, whether I see it or not. It is what animates this universe. It is the power that animates, it is the action that moves. And as I recognize this truth about the Spirit, about divine God, I recognize that I am one with it, as it. I recognize that as I am one as it, you are one as it. And as I recognize this true about myself and about yourself, I know that there's not one quality of God that is not yours. You possess all the qualities of God. You possess the qualities of health, wholeness, peace, harmony, abundance in every area of your life, prosperity, overflowing prosperity for you and yours. I declare that you are overflown of good. You are experiencing the good, the God, the old presence. That whatever it is that you're seeking is seeking you, as that is God as well. God is waiting for you to open your heart and say yes. Say yes to the new life. Say yes to listen to the subtle voice that leads you, that guides you, that lets you know what to do, what not to do, where to go, where not to go, who to speak. It's leading you all the time. Be still and know that I am God. Repeat these words as you find yourself in a place that is not God, in a place that is not divine. Allow yourself to be reminded often that you are it, that you live in it, that you and me are living in it. And as we live in it, as we recognize that this is our truth, and as we remind ourselves constantly, each day is moment, without us even knowing, a change is happening within ourselves. As we continue to root ourselves in divine love. I give thanks for knowing this for yourself and for myself and for all of us listening to this today and for those listening to it later. I am knowing this truth for each one of us. And I give thanks for this and so much more. I release it. I let it be, knowing that my voice, my words do not come back to me void. It is done. And so it is, and now it is. Ashe, amen. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now I want to invite you to our to remind you that we are here to take your prayers. Okay, a reminder, because we mentioned it at the beginning. You can reach us for prayers, for practitioner sessions, if that's what you're needing. And if you want to connect with Reverend Corina, she will post her information on the chat. So any of you that feel connected with her can connect with her. And so remember to request your prayers at One Love at onelovecenter.org, or call us at 844-295-5155. All prayer requests are kept in strict confidence. Here at One Love Center, we have Reverend Rodney, Reverend Hydra, and myself to take your prayers and to know the truth for you. And now we want to thank you for your donations. We want to thank you for your giving heart, for your generosity, and for thinking about how to support One Love Center. You can always go to One Love Center to do your onelovecenter.org and click on the PayPal button, donate whatever amount you feel called to do, or you can use the Cash Me app at with the symbol $ One Love CSL, and you can also support our center through smileamazon.com at One Love Center teaching chapter. We thank you for your donations. And now I invite you to do a abundance affirmation. And so what I invite you to do is to bring your hands into your heart and to have a generous heart. Don't think about the amount. Don't think about what you have and what you don't have. I want you to think from a place of having. And I want you to give whatever it is that you want to give. It doesn't matter if it's $1. What matters is the attitude and the feeling that you're giving with. Be grateful for the opportunity to share your good, for your generosity. And so I invite you to know now, read with me. You can see it on the screen. It says affirmation of abundance. And so we begin. Money, as one of the many gifts of spirit, is good. As I share my offerings, I know that I am actively creating a space to receive more gift, more money, and more good. I am grateful for the ability to give and for the good works these gifts do in our center and in our world. And now it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the good, for all the donations. We appreciate you for all of it. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Corina, for being here with us, for saying yes to play with Ellen.
Thank you for
You
inviting
very
me.
much. I also want to give, I want to also say thank you to Reverend Rodney for supporting us in the background. It just makes a difference for me to not having to worry about technical support. And so I'm feeling very, very grateful for his support and for the being that he is, for the loving person that he is, that supports us in our center and is here to continue to support each one of you. We are here for real. We are here to see you and to meet you where you are. Okay. And the only way that you're going to know it's true is if you come and connect with us. Because otherwise, Ellen is just saying things, but you have to come and experience. And then if you don't experience, then you can say and put it on Facebook and anywhere, she lied. But I know what I'm saying. So I know that you're not going to say that. So anyway, so at this point, I want to invite you to our prayer of our benediction. Actually, before we do that, I want to tell you about announcements. We have a retreat that is going to be on March 16th through the 21st, and it's going to be a destination retreat. We have the information on our page, so in our newsletter as well. Please, if you have any questions, any concerns, connect with me directly, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions. Also, we are a center that teaches classes for your evolution, for you to unfold into your greater beings. Stay tuned because we are planning some classes, something we're thinking about what can we do to continue to support you in this path, in this journey of a spiritual awakening. Because if we really are sick and tired of living in a world that does not work for all of us, then we all have to take responsibility for ourselves and begin to take classes to help our our mentally, it comes first. Some of us, we have to do it in through our intelligence, right, through our mind, get all the information, process the information, and then spirit kicks in, right? Kicks Spirit is always there, but we don't recognize it because we might not be aware of it, and that's okay. That's just where you are. Remember, we're not here to judge you, we're here to receive you wherever you are. Okay, this is not about right and wrong, it's about you coming as you are. So now I invite you to this to the prayer of closing prayer. And Reverend Corina, I will ask you to please join me in the prayer, and then we close it. And after the prayer, we're going to have a song, and that song is by Ricky Byer, and that is "I'm Ready to Listen." I love that song. I remember when I first heard that song, I was just like, "Yes, I'm ready to listen, God. I'm ready to listen. I'm sick and tired of this lifestyle." And so I was listening to that song all the time in my car. So I suggest, if you're having problems or challenges, let's call it challenges, not problems. If you're having challenges, listening to that subtle voice that we spoke about here with Reverend Corina, listen to that song and open your heart to it. Okay. So let's go into our benediction. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for this amazing celebration. Thank you for Reverend Corina, who said yes to play with me, with Ellen here. Thank you for Reverend Rodney for creating this space of love, for seeing the vision of divine love, from listening, for guidance, to have this space for us to continue to expand, to continue to be in the world where we're here to be, to create a world that makes a difference, a world that we all can live in happily, joyfully, healthy, abundant, and all knowing that we are all provided beyond what we need, beyond what we need, not what we need, but beyond what we need. So we can really be agents of change. So we don't have to worry about anything because all is being provided to us. And we just open our heart, we open our mind, we open our whole being to that influx of love, to that channel of abundance, to that love that is within us. We just open, we accept it, we say yes to it. And as we say yes to it, it becomes who we are. We embody it. I give thanks for this affirmation. I give thanks for this knowing, for all of us, for each one of us here now and those that are listening. And I pass to Reverend Corina.
Knowing that this time is all good, I say thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Rod, for giving us this opportunity to come together, to learn, to share, to grow, and to know more.
Yes.
So I give thanks. And knowing that it is already done, I
Yes.
release, I
Yes.
let go, I let it be so. And
Yes.
so it is.
And so it is, Ashe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.